Hadi, Deneze, Sakaze, Skyze, Sizoze Chris Tsetsne, Sisune e an Irene Swan Luzier, Hasne Hanian, Sizuzebe Victor Swan Hasne, CS Sashat Sydney Hasne, Leknaklap Nas Haste. And I'm sorry, Barb, I did the best I could. So, I think, oh, yeah. I feel very blessed to have joined Carrier Sakani team this year. My name is Chris Swan. My mother was Irene Swan Luzier, formerly of Vanderhoof, and my father is Victor Swan, formerly of Smithers, BC. I am mom to Sydney and mom to 2 dogs, and my role at Carrier Sakani Family Services is Chief Financial Officer, and I do take over a very long tenure from Carol Reimer, who I'm grateful for because she taught me a lot in my first couple of months here. It may have been drinking from a fire hose, but it was fabulous. I bring with me 30 years of corporate financial accounting experience, and I also have 2 years of Indigenous experience with the Silcotin National Government. And my hope is that I can bring that experience and that knowledge to help continue to grow and support the Carrier Sakani Family Services organization. It's not a single organization, or it is, as we've discussed here, it's a team, and this is the finance team. Everything that we do, every payment we do, everything that goes through is processed diligently and expediently by this team. I get to stand here, but they get to do the hard work, and I'm grateful for them. As part of the annual financial statements, we engaged KPMG to review and audit our financial transactions. The very important part of that is they processed it with an opinion that the accompanying financial statements present fairly and in all material respects the financial position of Carrier Sakani Family Services as of March 31st, 2024. Basically, it means we did good. So some of what we did. Our assets grew from $29.6 million in 2023 to $54.8 million in 2024. That is almost double. This is largely due to the development of the capital projects, including the Tachik Lake Healing Center. Then when we look at our liabilities, they also grew, but that also has to do with the Tachik Lake Healing Center because we received a lot of money in advance for that project. So while sometimes you don't want your liabilities, that's what you owe to grow. In this case, that's not a bad thing. So when the healing center is completed in the next year, those will go down again. The surplus or deficit, last year we had a small deficit, $5 million, due to some timing of funding being received from Indigenous Services Canada. This year we got that funding, and so therefore we've regained our surplus. It's a small one at the end of the year, and it's going to continue to grow again. And that surplus is our ability to make sure we can weather those times when cash flows don't flow as well as they could have. Overall, our funding. Our funding grew from $56.2 million in 2023 to be $67.4 million in 2024, and is again expected to grow this year. The growth is funding is being used to support our mandate and provide culturally relevant wellness programs and supports throughout our communities. What does that mean, though? That means that our wages also increase. Because we are service-based, it relies on our people to come out to the communities and deliver those services that Chief Luggie was just talking about. Our staff does continue to grow, and our services, and so our wages expenses grew from $26.7 million in 2023 to $33.2 million in 2024. And that also means our expenses continue to grow. Carrier-Secani Family Services is working very diligently to continue to provide those services in the community to make sure that we are supporting our community members in the ways that we can. We do try and control our spending, and so as some of the Carrier-Secani staff will know, that results from questions from my team when they're just trying to make sure they understand what is exactly going on in those expenses. And so in 2023, our expenses were just over 32 million, and they were just over 33 million in 2024. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about financials today, and I am happy to answer any questions that I can, and musicho.
Any questions from online? None? Anybody on the floor? Nope. Okay, we're good. Thank you. Oh, one? Okay. There is one. Almost. Next year.
Yeah. We have one.
Yeah.
It's more of just a comment. I'm Melanie Labatch from CSFS, and I think it's so important to have these meetings because this is all part of transparency and stuff like that.
Yes.
And we need transparency for trustworthiness and et cetera. I am a registered nurse, so I do understand some healthcare aspects and stuff, and I definitely have a specialized body of knowledge that I've learned and continue to learn. So we're talking about a budget of $67 million. We have 11 bands. I didn't even know how this was happening. I don't see many CSFS members here that are not working with CSFS. We always have to remember that the money that comes are for the people. And Granny always said, you never get rich off the backs of poor people. And I'm so blessed to be able to have had time and guidance from her. And so I just think especially as a healthcare professional, that it's always, just always looking at equity and ensuring people know. So number one, we need more people here. We need people, our membership need to be aware of it. I did ask in our village, who's all going? Like, how do people know? Oh, CSFS Communication will contact people. They're going to contact individual members, so we need to do better. Okay. So we're talking about a $67 million budget. We just got this right now. If there's an AGA, you need to give out this information in advance so then people can peruse it. If you have a question, that's all a part of accountability. So I just really, there's many gaps. And there's many ways that we can do better. There are lots of things that are going good, and we have to say that and acknowledge that, but there's so much that we can improve on. So when we're talking like this, please remember, people need to know. They need to be informed. We have to move forward together. We need to be able to hear people's concerns. So I'll look at this, and I'm sure I'll have questions, but I don't have time because I just picked it up.
And Melanie, I really do appreciate that because even as a finance person, that would take me a little bit to digest as well. And so I am more than happy if you have questions later to answer those questions and take some time and have a phone call or whatever else, and then work with communications to even share those questions and answers. Because I do think it's important. It is the community's money, and I am privileged to be able to help manage that so that it can support the communities.